But what I wanted to talk about for a minute was not just the Cleveland Browns, but that some of these franchises still just don't get it. And when I say that, I mean the Browns, the Bills. Like, the Bills had a unique opportunity to get a head coach in a guy like Lovie Smith that fits everything that they've been building over the past couple of years and could probably take you to that next level. Cleveland goes in, they get a great running back in Trent Richardson. You get a rookie quarterback in Whedon that you have faith in. At least your general manager and your owner did. So if you have you got a couple of those pieces, your defense is okay. So why wouldn't you go out after a guy that can really help continue to build your franchise, help build your organization? And instead you go after a guy that was an offensive coordinator. And that's pretty much it. On a team that was terrible on offense on the first 8 games of the year. So, or, like I mentioned Erich last night, you can even look at, like, my Cowboys. You can look at the Cowboys.
David Hastings Cowboys.
And you could say, you sit here and you preach about we want to follow the path and we want to earn our, work our way, this and that. You fired your defensive coordinator because your team choked again in the final week of the year. Because you don't want to admit that your $18 million quarterback seems to just not get it in the most clutch moments of the season. Or that your defense does not want to show up in the most clutch moments of the season. That's the kind of stuff I just don't understand. Yes. Now, when it comes down to these organizations, is it me or is it the owner that is truly the one to blame?
I'm raising my hand on this one because I don't know who should speak first.
Yes, Joey.
I can't blame the owners. It seems in today's NFL, if you have a franchise quarterback, your franchise is set for the next 10 years. Look at Peyton Manning. The Colts were not all that great. Stunk for a little bit with Jim Harbaugh as a quarterback and whatnot. All of a sudden, Peyton Manning is plugged in. After year 1, I think he had a 10-win season every single year he was there. Except for obviously his last because he didn't play.
Yeah.
Only thing I would say to counteract that is, you look at a guy like Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
He's a fantastic quarterback.
Very true.
He would be, unbelievable on most other teams.
Has San Diego been competitive up until the last year or two?
They were competitive, but they never went anywhere.
They went to an AFC championship.
Yeah, but
they lost it, and
they never played
in today's
well in
football.
the
If you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going anywhere. Jacksonville
you still need the coach, though.
The quarterback is more important than the. No, I can't say that because the Saints. I can't say that this year. The Saints
Mr.
this year
Treslar,
proved.
You agree with that, Mr. Tom Coughlin is a overrated coach, and the Giants won Super Bowls not because of him, but despite him.
Right, I have said that.
You said that.
But that is actually wrong.
Say quarterback, you got to say you believe that quarterback.
And I can't even say that because I was all about that too, that the players are more important, blah, 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 until I saw the Saints this year start off 0-4 without any coaching.
That's what I'm saying. The coach matters.
Yes, the coach does matter, yes. But you need to have that talented. Right now, it's a throwing offensive league. You need to have that quarterback. Belichick would be nothing without Brady. Dungy, I don't think Dungy was a good coach. I can't say he would be nothing without Payton.
I think the idea is the marriage of the two.
It is the marriage of the two.
You need the two guys, and that's why Dallas sticks with Jason Garrett, because they believe in Romo so much, and the two of them.
You said Buffalo, right? Name any good quarterback Buffalo's had since Jim Kelly. None. You can't do it. You can't do it. All right. Cincinnati, when were they really good? Back in the day with Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, and then Carson Palmer.
And Carson Palmer for a few years.
Knee.
Besides that, they busted on every single draft pick. Cleveland. When was the last time Cleveland had a great starting quarterback? Nobody can answer it. So when was the last time Cleveland was good?
Wasn't
like
Bernie
2006.
Kosar Cleveland Brown?
Something like that. When 2006, when Derek Anderson had one good year with Braylon Edwards.
They did go 10-6.
They went 10-6.
That year.
They went 10-6, but they had Braylon Edwards.
Yeah.
They had a couple other pieces.
They did, but that was
yeah.
the only good year that they had. They haven't been to the playoffs since. They haven't had a good player
Who was their
since.
coach back then, though?
It was a
Cornell?
Mangini
was a coach?
So, listen, he's not terrible. I I put this on the ownership. I really do, because the ownership is the one who makes the decision on the coach.
I can
It's
see
the one
that.
who's got to hire the coach.
Correct.
The coach is the guy who's going to sit down with the general manager and draft the players. So all of this actually stems down from the decision that's made by the owner. When the owner makes poor decisions, the franchise is going to make poor decisions. It's like, and I hate to bring up Dave's Cowboys, but I've said to Dave on more than one
I was going to
occasion
bring up the Cowboys too. Good.
that Jerry Jones wanted Garrett. Garrett's his man.
Garrett's the man.
Garrett's been his man since he was a third-string quarterback on that roster. And he's tried to groom this kid, and it's just not working the way he's planned.
Correct.
But again, Dallas is filled with talent.
Okay.
They have a lot of talent in Murray. They have a lot of talent in Bryant. They got Romo, who's,
It's
on the cusp of being
from week 1 to 14, 15. He's one of the best in the NFL.
It's a little bit
but
of
then
both.
you put pressure on him.
It's a little bit of both. Has to do with the ownership and also has to do with the personnel too, because look at Bill Parcells. When he went to the Cowboys, who did he have? He made all the draft picks and whatnot. He had Quincy Carter as his quarterback.
Still, he had to leave because
just
Jerry Jones just doesn't give up
I'm just
control.
saying, though, Bill Parcells is one of the greatest coaches in the NFL. He never made the play. Did he make the playoffs with the Cowboys?
No.
Never
He's
had a
one
win.
of the-
He
In his
was
last
our
year?
head coach in the snap fumble.
That? Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
you're-
field goal
was-
snap fumble. He was our head coach that year. That was his
So
last
you
year.
put one of the greatest coaches on that team. They only made the playoffs once. Granted, he did draft Tony Romo, and maybe if Parcells stayed and kept Romo with him for a few more years, maybe they would have won a championship because Parcells is that good of a coach. But it seems to me it goes hand in hand. It seems like quarterbacks make the coaches what they are. Montana and Bill Walsh, like Aikman and Jimmy Johnson, like all the great quarterbacks, they have a great coach associated with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a look at the marriage of it, but I've
Well,
said
it is.
this.
You look
Look
at what McCarthy's done with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
You look at Belichick and Brady.
Yep.
You look at Sean Payton and Breeze.
Yep.
You look at the examples around the league. That's what you
Coughlin
got.
and Manning. They have two
Coughlin
Super
and
Bowl.
Manning. They
Big Ben, and
You got to understand.
I know.
hate Coughlin.
It's okay, but they still
And
have
it's
two
not
Super
even my
Bowls together.
hatred for Coughlin. It's more my hatred for Kevin Killdrive, and now our defense, which is like the 29th ranked defense, and giving up the most yardage ever for a Giants team in back-to-back years. We've set new franchise records.
Well,
for
there's
it.
going to be new records for that. I feel like almost every year. It's so offensive of a league now.
Yeah,
but still.
all those yardage records and offensive records.
We've
they all
given up
mean
over
nothing
6,000 yards,
each of the past 2 years.
and we're
right?
the 29th ranked defense. And this guy gets to keep his job?
He just won a Super Bowl.
But I see what he's saying.
He
I
didn't
know what you
win the
mean.
Super Bowl. He didn't.
No coach ever wins the Super Bowl. The players win. The players play the game to win the game. I get that.
The
But he
players
just
won
two,
despite the coaching.
He won
in
2
that.
out of 5 years, bro. How are you gonna fire
But,
somebody?
I mean-
Out of won 2 Super Bowls
Well,
in 5
Perry
years.
Fuel wasn't with. Are you talking
No,
Coughlin? or
Perry Fuel.
Oh, I
Yeah,
apologize.
Perry-
I thought you were
Perry
talking
Fuel.
Coughlin.
No,
I
Perry
apologize.
Fuel.
But-
Perry Fuel and Gilbride are the two that really need to go. And I would be okay with keeping Coughlin if we brought in a new offensive coordinator. I like Fife's idea. So I was talking with him, and he likes the idea of firing Coughlin, the whole coaching staff.
Yeah, he was telling me.
Yeah.
Bringing in Singletary as coordinator.
We were bringing Cower as the head coach, Norv Turner to coach, Norv Turner as the offensive coordinator, and Mike Singletary to coach the defense.
An expensive
Boom.
coaching staff, but that would be an awesome coaching staff.
But not going to happen. But why other teams around the league aren't trying to put a coaching staff like that together? Instead, they're hiring guys like Chudzinski. I don't get it.
Chudzinski's going to cost them $1 million. Singletary's going to cost them $4 or $5 million.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, but if
it
it's the
does come down
difference
to money.
between wins and it's the difference between putting a better product on the field, isn't the extra investment in the coach
man.
worth it?
If they own the team, they're allowed to go any which way they would like.
So back to the original question. You know, in my opinion, when it comes down to it, and I've said this before numerous times, I truly believe that an NFL franchise is ran like a major company, and it all starts.
It is a major company.
It works from the top down. You get out of your team what your CEO puts in with his general manager and his president of this, and then they got to work down with this guy, and then they got to
And you
work
can
down
see
with
that.
this guy. And
if you look at the class of the NFL, you're right. That's why there's so many good teams. I'm going to throw the Colts in there because what have they won? 10 games, 14 in the last 15 years or something like that. So the Colts have been really good. You got the Patriots. You got Pittsburgh. The Giants you still got up there too. They're like the cream of the crop when it comes to the NFL, I feel like, because every single year they're competitive for the last 15, 20 years. They've been really competitive.
Exactly, because their owners bring in football guys to do football work.
Yep.
As an owner, you're a businessman. That's how you got your team. I'm sorry to tell you, nobody in this world is dumb enough to believe that you're the smart football. Like Jerry Jones, you bought the team in '89. You won 3 Super Bowls in your first 7 years of owning the team. Congratulations. You didn't do that, though. You came in, you bought the team, you brought in
Jimmy
the right
Johnson.
people. Yeah, you brought in the right people to make football choices, and you just sort of sat there and participated.